from deep under the earth, spreading across the globe at the speed of thought. Changing the world one brain at a time. This is the Final Order Report from Green Brain Comics. Good morning and welcome, Brainiacs. I am your host, Dan Merritt, Chief Purchasing Officer at Green Brain Comics. Every week we bring you a curated list of comics and graphic novels that will be going to print next week and are scheduled to hit the shelves as soon as 4 weeks from now. We are here today to show this information and give you one final chance to subscribe and or special order before Sunday, February 4th at 5 p.m. Green Brain Comics and the Final Order Report are powered by Comichub. Check out Comichub online at comichub.com. Mobile apps available for Android and iPhone. Start up an account online or sync up to your existing account. Order and pay securely online and make sure you never miss an issue. I will be using Comichub today to show you items from this week's last call for confirmed orders carousel. Let's get right into that. Once you sign in to the browser version here, you see both menus here. Aside items is for everything that is already received for your account and set aside, waiting for you to pick up and or pay for. On the right, there is the shop coming soon that has all the carousels that we will be looking at today. Top carousel there is current search. That is everything from the most recent catalogs. There's also a search box up at the top for you to type in searches. Each of these carousels rotates left to right. Below that, the carousel for preview pages. These are usually 4 to 8 pages of previews from some of the upcoming comics that we may be talking about today. Below that is the last call for Final Order Cut-Off carousel. That's the one that we will be looking at today. And at the bottom there is the next Wednesday's item. That is everything that is hitting the shelves here at Green Brain Comics on Wednesday, February 7th. So let's jump over to the carousel for last call for confirmed orders. Once you move into that, you see you scroll up and down, and you have filters on the top for publisher, category, brand, etc., as well as filters for alphanumeric headers. And the first thing that we will be looking at today This is the final report for younger reader comics and graphic novels. First thing on the list today, there it is. It's Ngozi Ukazu's Barda graphic novel. This is New York Times best-selling author of Check Please, that very popular series. I believe that was from Scholastic Graphics. They come over to DC Entertainment for their first graphic novel here, focusing on Barda. Of course, the long-standing relationship partner for Scott Free, Mr. Miracle. And this one's going to be focusing on this amazing warrior from Apocalypse. That's going to be hitting the shelves on June 4th. We have a glow-in-the-dark sticker book from DK. That looks like a lot of fun, as well as a glow-in-the-dark sticker book for Spidey and his amazing friends. And I think we got a Cactus Kid and the Battle for Star Rock Mountain here from Flying Eye Books. That looks pretty cool, from cartoonist Emmanuel Guerrero. And finally, we have Table Titans. This is graphic novel volume 1 from Holiday House by cartoonist Scott Kurtz, who used to do a series called PvP, both web comic and in print, very popular back in the day. And that wraps up. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? Huh? All right. Next up is, I'll show you the title screen for that. This is the final order report for, wow, I got these all mixed up, huh? What happened to manga? I'll show you that title screen later. In the meantime, we have Ado. This is a manga volume 1 from Kodansha Comics and cartoonist Amano Jaku. We have volume 1 of Anyway, I'm Falling in Love with You from Haruka Mitsui. And Medalist Volume 1 from Suru Maikada. And that wraps up our focus, our final order report on manga. Next up, we'll look at some original graphic novels. In this case, we have one from Katie Cook, our pal here from Michigan. Katie Cook's got a new graphic novel. I believe this collects work from Webtoon. Nothing special is collected in this gorgeous graphic novel, which also features exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Love that cartooning from Katie Cook. Then we have an original graphic novel from Dark Horse Comics. This is called Medea, or Medea? From writer Blandine Lacalette and artist Nancy Pena. This is coming out from Dark Horse Comics on May 22nd, 2024. Here we have another beautiful looking graphic novel from Elise Gravel and drawn in quarterly. This is Club Microbe. Elise Gravel really likes to get down and dirty with her cartooning. This is a new graphic novel focusing on the germs world. And that is hitting the shelves on April 9th from Elise Gravel and drawn in quarterly. Then from Fantagraphics, we get a new graphic novel from Beth Hetland, a psychological thriller about a woman obsessed with her vision for a picture-perfect, curated life. Carol Ann wanted a perfect wedding, a perfect husband, a perfect family. She carefully performs her own roles as a gal pal, bestie, girlfriend, wife, and expectant mother, and manipulates those around her to try and get the results she wants. Ooh, that sounds... Whoa, that cover's creepy as hell once I look at it. From Beth Hetland and Fantagraphic Books, hitting the shelves on March 13th. Get your orders in for tender. Then we have the winner of the coolest name for a graphic novel this week. Goiter is the first collection of short stories by Josh Pettinger. It explores the strange and unnerving experience of being a person. Goiter features a traveling ventriloquist. Whoa, that really zooms in there, doesn't it? Huh? Let's see. It features a traveling ventriloquist accused of a horrible crime, the romantic adventures of a floating head fighting an interdimensional war, and a dystopian epic set in a distant future. Online retail warehouse. Good social commentary with some moments that made me laugh out loud. Tops in my book from Robert Crumb for Josh Pettinger's Goiter, a new graphic novel from Floating World Comics. We get the new book from Box Brown and Floating World Comics. New York Times best-selling and Eisner Award-winning Brian Box Brown returns with a collection of his weekly comic strip which focuses on the ins and outs of cannabis legalization. Legalization Nation collects the last 3 years of strips and is considered by many in cannabis circles to be the true conscience of the cannabis world. From Box Brown and Floating World Comics. Legalization Nation. Then we get a couple of 20th anniversary hardcover box sets from Oni Press and creator Brian Lee O'Malley celebrating the 20th anniversary of Scott Pilgrim. We get this black and white box set for $249.99. That's all 5 volumes in their original format, black and white. Hopefully the same cool pulpy paper. Features new cover art by Brian Lee O'Malley and a deluxe clamshell collector's box featuring new art by Brian Lee O'Malley and an exclusive compilation of the making of Scott Pilgrim extras and comics. Wow, you get all kinds of stuff in this. You even get a sticker sheet. Oh my gosh. That will be available on August 21st. Quite a ways from now, but if you're interested, let us know. We'd be happy to get this in for you, as well as the next one, the full color box set. Same details apply. This one's just in color. Then from Silver Sprockets, we get a book called Viscera Objectica from Hugo Limbo. Hugo Limbo? Cool lungs. A humble tailor is very skilled at his work, but finds the complex patchwork of love painful to stitch together. One day he visits a farmer's market and is drawn to a beautiful puppet whose vendor utters only, "His name is Theo." It's from Hugo Limbo, the graphic novel called Viscera Objectica, available on March 27th. And finally, in original graphic novels, we get The Gulf from Adam D'Souza and cover artist Yoshinobu Yamada. I don't know about that. I think it's all done by Adam D'Souza and Tundra Books. The Gulf, which wraps up the original graphic novel Spotlight. Let's see if I got the right one there. No. Yeah, kind of did. Sure. That's cool. I'll take it. Wow, that's a little disorienting, isn't it? Next up, we get, let's see. Oh, trade paperbacks. That's right. This is the collection. This is a display of collections of original periodicals that are collected by Storylines into these trade paperbacks. We get a Valiant Classics collecting the Ninjak 7th Dragon storyline from writer Mark Moretti and artist Joe Quesada. This goes back to the early days of the Valiant revival in the 90s, I believe. Ninjak, the 7th Dragon from Valiant Entertainment. Then we get the Alice Never After graphic novel, the sequel to Alice Ever After by writer Dan Panosian, who also did this cover, and artist Giorgio Spalletta. We get a couple different covers for this Marvel art collection from David Nakayama, by his signature, Mr. DNA from Clover Press. This is a big giant art book for $75 with this Scarlet Witch cover and the Spider-Gwen cover that just graced the first issue of the new Spider-Gwen Smash series. Then we get this cool collection of Richard Corbin stories from the Hellboy universe in the artist library collection format, I guess, from Dark Horse Comics and Mike Mignola. This is the Hellboy Artist Collection Richard Corbin hardcover. Available on May 8th for $49.99 cover price. Then we get a digest for kids. I guess this should have gone with kid stuff. Barkham Asylum from cartoonist Yehudi Mercado. Blood Syndicate Season 1, collecting that miniseries that recently wrapped up in the DC Universe. Similarly, the City Boy miniseries collected here. And the Jurassic League miniseries by Daniel Warren Johnson, who also turned in this cover, and artist Juan Gideon. That'll hit the shelves on April 16th. A couple more from DC. The Superman Space Age graphic novel, first time in softcover. I think that'll hit just after the Batman Dark Age that the same creative team is doing before that hits the shelf, yeah. And we get this new printing, the 2024 edition of Zatanna by Paul Dini, collecting the first 16 issues of that series, and one-shots from Zatanna Everyday Magic and DC Infinite Halloween Special. And from a couple more small press, we get Catfight from IDW, Swan Songs from writer W. Maxwell Prince and Image Comics, The Mushroom Knight. I believe there are some preview pages up for this in the carousel for that. This is from Mad Cave Studios. And finally, we have the Daredevil graphic novel, Volume 1, Hell Breaks Loose. This is collecting the first story arc from Saladin Ahmed and artist Aaron Cooder. And that wraps up our spotlight on trade paperbacks. Next up, let's look at new printings. We got a couple new printings this week. We get Moon Man number 1, second print from Image Comics. Star Wars Thrawn Alliance's second print. A third print for Ultimate Spider-Man number 1. Which technically means we have to close off pre-orders for the second print because that is potentially being allocated. So do sign up for a third print if you're interested, with this new cover by Sarah Pichelli. Then we get a facsimile edition reprinting the Wolverine by Claremont and Buscema. This number 1 from back in the 90s. Good times from that classic creative team. And that is the wrong title screen, but let's go with wrapping up and moving over to second issues. Ooh, here we get, this is a first issue, isn't it? Interesting. I wonder how I'm going to do that. Well, I guess I'll just tell you about this. This should have gone into a different section, but this is a new series from writer Ram V with artist Evan Cagle, who's been doing the cover art for Ram V's run on Detective Comics. Evan Cagle is going to be doing interiors as well as this beautiful cover for this amazing looking book called Dawn Runner. A century ago, a portal opened over Central America, and the Tetza that came through changed our world. Now the world bends all its efforts to make the Iron Kings great mechs that must battle the Tetza for humanity's continued survival in a gladiatorial combat. Very cool looking. We get a B cover from Matthias Bergera, and that is for Dawn Runner number 1 from Dark Horse Comics. But then we'll get back to our previously scheduled programming for Second issues. This is the Suicide Squad Kill Arkham Asylum #2. This is a weekly shipping miniseries acting as a sort of prequel to the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video game that's coming out soon. This is also polybagged and will include digital codes for stuff, I guess. I don't know. I think we're getting the first issue this week, so I'm going to be careful about ordering this one. If you're interested, let me know. Next up, we get the second issue of Jill and the Killers. #1 just shipped last week. If you got it, what'd you think of it? Also, we get a resolicited Beyond Real #2. You'll remember we gave a bunch of copies away for #1. If you're interested in #2, let us know. We'd be happy to subscribe you to it. And that's the wrong thing again. Pretty cool. And then we'll just move right over to first issues. We get a one-shot here from Dynamite Entertainment, Fire and Ice Tigra. This focuses on that character from the Fire and Ice animated feature and the subsequent comic prequel that Dynamite Entertainment has been publishing. We get that A cover by Dan Panosian, very fetching cover, on a comic written by Bill Willingham and featuring interior art by Gabrielle Del Carlo, and a B cover by Megan Hetrick. The lone inclusion for the first issue feature this week from DC Comics is the Batman First Night #1. This is a 3-issue miniseries written by Dan Jurgens with interior art, and this cover by Mike Perkins. This is under the DC Black Label imprint. We get a B cover by Ramon Perez and a C cover by Mark Aspinall. Very pulpy, very cool looking. Look for some fun from the past, the year 1939, with beautiful art by Mike Perkins. The Batman in First Night. We get a new series from Star Trek, Sons of Star Trek #1, written by Morgan Hampton and featuring art by Angel Hernandez and a cover by Jake Bartok, Hayden Sherman. And then we get Assassin's Creed Shinobi Uncivil War. This is a #1, but I think it might be a one-shot. It also features a couple different short stories and includes creators Bray Dornbeck and Ryan Benjamin. Also, this B cover by Ryan Benjamin. That's pretty cool. And, this cool mech-looking cover by, who did that? Roy R. Marco. And a cover by Patrick Boutin-Gagné. Then we get another new series from Massive/Sumerian Comics. This is entitled Washed in Blood, written by writer Kevin Rodatelli. Let's see. What if you were called upon by the worst god of all time in a frozen post-apocalyptic wasteland called Freak Snow? A young cult survivor hears the voice of the self-proclaimed god of guns. Like any human would be, he is hypnotized by the prospect of power by listening to this divine freak. Featuring several different covers, but has interiors by Rob Cannon. This A cover is by Jorge Corona. A B cover by Rob Cannon. This very nice cover by Brao, B-R-A-O, the movie poster homage. And this cover by Vlad Legostev. This cover by Preston Acevedo. And finally, the Washed in Blood video game homage by Nicola Izzo wraps up Washed in Blood from Massive Entertainment. Then we get a relaunch of the Savage Sword of Conan. It's back from Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics, featuring a new Conan epic from John Arcudi and Max von Fafner. The rousing return of Solomon Kane, written and drawn by Patch Zurcher, and an electric prose story from Jim Zub. The spectacular art, pinups, and more. The Savage Sword of Conan issue 1 heralds a new era of adrenaline-fueled adventure. This has 80 pages with a cover price of $6.99 from Titan Publishing, and I believe will be in the traditional Savage Sword of Conan magazine format. This one has a last call solicited cover by Joe Jusko. This A cover by Joe Jusko. A B cover by Gerardo Zaffino, very nice. This one by interior artist Max von Fafner, and is a tribute to a classic cover of Savage Sword of Conan. And then from Marvel Comics, to wrap up today's program, we get a few new things. We have this What If Aliens #1. This is a one-shot written by several folks, including the actor who is the feature of this comic, Paul Reiser, who joins his son Leon and the star-studded team of writers and producers, including Adam F. Goldberg, Brian Volk Weiss, and Hans Rodionoff, for a journey back to this particular scene, What If Carter Burke Had Lived, featuring this cover by Phil Noto, Addie Grainoff, Lucio Perillo. Oh, this very, very nice Peach Momoko cover. All wrapping up. Oh no, I think we got one more. We got a Scotty Young cover, of course. All this for What If Aliens, hitting the shelf on March 6th. Get your order in for any of these variant covers before tomorrow, Sunday at 5 p.m. Next up, we get a new story arc on Captain America. This is issue #7 from this run by J. Michael Straczynski and artist Carlos Magno. Here we have another 50th anniversary of the giant size format called Giant Size Spider-Gwen, with I think probably several short stories, but the lead written by Melissa Flores. That A cover was by Brian Hitch. This B cover is by David Bardin, or David Bardine. We've got a cover by Kai Zama. And that all wraps up the giant size Spider-Gwen, hitting the shelves on March 6th from Marvel Comics. We get a new miniseries following up on the success of the previous one, written by Iman Vellani, the actor who portrays the character in the Disney Plus series. She's joined by Carlos Gomez on art, Carlos Gomez, who did the cover art, and Scott Godlewski, who does interiors on this miniseries called Ms. Marvel Mutant Menace. Get a B cover by Derek Chu. Wow, that is amazing. That's cool. Derek Chu's the man. And we get one from Federico Venzentini in the Stormbreakers variants. Very colorful, from Pablo Villalobos. And a Peach Momoko variant for Ms. Marvel Mutant Menace. And we get a new launch in the revived Ultimate imprint, this called Ultimate X-Men. Ultimate X-Men is written and drawn by Peach Momoko, who also turns in this A cover, who creates this new generation of X-Men for an all-new universe. Hisako Ichaki is a teenage girl who just wants to live a normal life, go to school, hang out with her friends, ignore the political strife broiling over after the events of the Ultimate Invasion. But life has other plans for her. In Japan, urban legends have sprung to life and brought some unusual new powers with them. Meet Armor, Maystorm, and a group of new Ultimate X-Men that the likes of which you've never seen before. Also featuring this B cover by Betsy Cola. Dyke Ruan cover, very nice. Lee Eun-hyuk Armor cover. A couple more. We got a Mark Brooks cover. Ooh, that's cool. And got this Peach Momoko cover wrapping up the Ultimate X-Men #1 from Marvel Comics, hitting the shelves on March 6th. Get your orders in for any of these variant covers by this Sunday, February 4th? Yes, at 5 p.m. And to wrap up the spotlight on new comics this week is the Weapon X-Men miniseries. This is issue 1, written by Christos N. Gage with art by Yildiray Cinar, with this cover by Dyke Ruan. A multiverse of Logans band together. In original X-Men, you saw the Phoenix recruit the young X-Men to fix yet another time-displaced disaster. But now the threat is deadlier than ever, and it's time to call in the X-Men's big gun. What happened? Oh my gosh. Okay, he's the best there is at what he does. In this universe and in every universe, and this job is too big for just one of them. Wolverines from across the multiverse converge to take on a foe even the Phoenix fears, but with friends like Zombie Wolverine, who needs enemies? Christos Gage and Yildiray Cinar kick off an action-packed epic. Weapon X-Men #1. Got a Goblin Queen action figure cover that kind of weirds out the format here. And we get a cover from John Boy Myers. And this cover by Mark Brooks, all wrapping up our spotlight on first issues. Next up, let's hit a few events. Join us back here on YouTube, Facebook, and wherever else I can port us over to for Brain Scan, our New Comic Day preview of new comics hitting the shelves for February 7th. This will be live streamed from the store right here on Tuesday at 6:30. And then Monday, February 19th, we welcome back Brain Candy for the 53rd installment, featuring performances and presentations by Noor Hindi with poetry, spoken word from Tim Jones, music from Jesse Passage, and the visual art from Quadre Curry. And join me back here again next weekend for another final order report. I hope you enjoyed today's program, and I will continue to try and tease out some of these interesting little quirks. But in the meantime, remember that our orders are due for all of these comics on Sunday, February 4th, before 5 p.m. Please remember to confirm and send your cart. make sure I get it in time to place those orders. Any orders received after then, I just can't guarantee anymore. It's weird times in the printing world. Let's see, where's my sign off? Thanks for joining me for the final order report, recorded right here at Studio G in Green Brain Comics, smack dab in the middle of beautiful East Downtown Dearborn. Stay up to date on all of our happenings. We are Green Brain Comics on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. On X, we are at Green Brain CMX. All of the links to our shopping cart website and Comichub are below in the description. We are spreading the love of comic books and graphic novels from the heart of East Downtown Dearborn since 1985. Feed your brain at Green Brain Comics.